I'm Shannon Thrasher, and this is 30-Second Tactics. We're back out on the range today, do a little review of Firearm. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's been a miserable day. We've been sitting around for about an hour waiting for it to stop raining. So we're gonna do what we can do. If it starts raining on us or the wind gets too hard, I apologize. The gun I'm featuring today was very graciously loaned to me by a friend, so I don't want to have to reschedule this filming. So here we go. What we're talking about today is the Springfield Prodigy. They don't call it this, but it's basically a 2011. If you're familiar with that, it's the modernized 1911, high capacity, 9mm, and we're just going to kind of compare it to the gold standard, if you will, the Glock standard. See how it compares in size and weight and trigger pull and all that, and then we'll do a little bit of shooting. So first thing, interesting to note, the standard flush fit magazines hold 17 rounds, same as your Glock 17. That's a very common law enforcement handgun, standard 17 round. Now these do also come with 20 round magazines that stick out a little bit. Looks a lot like that. But right now, loaded with 17 rounds, we're just going to weigh them both and see what we get for weight. And we're going to turn on the scale. It works better that way. 3 pounds, 2 ounces. And we'll reset the scale. And with the Glock, 2 pounds, 5.6 ounces. So no surprise there, the steel gun is heavier than the polymer gun. Another thing we're going to check, double check that those are clear, is trigger pull. Now this is my Glock. I've used it in other videos. I've checked the trigger pull a bunch. I can tell you right now, it's going to break at about 7.8, 7.10, somewhere in there. But we'll check it. To be fair, the Glock triggers are a little hard to get the trigger pull on because you have to get that little safety off. And it read 0, so I'm guessing that's an error. Let's try that again. I'm gonna have to edit that part out, guys. All right, one more try. Again, my stuff's been getting rained on all day, who knows? 7.75, so like I said, that's where I expect it to be, between 7.5 and 7.10, and of course this is not the world's greatest trigger measurer. 7.8. So again, that's what I expect from this gun. Factory duty gun, 1911. You guys probably always know, or some of you know, that you can get these triggers really, really light and really, really crisp, but that's not always a great idea for a duty gun. So I expect this one to hit somewhere around 4 to 6 pounds. Hopefully not much less than that. We'll see. And we'll do it a couple times. Let me get a 0 there. 6.4. And I felt like I dragged that a little bit, so that might be a little high reading. Let's see what we get here. Reset. 6.1, so right at 6 pounds. Kind of what I guessed. A little better than a Glock trigger as far as weight, but if you've ever shot a Glock and you've ever shot 1911, you know that the striker fired guns, they're just not a great trigger, no matter what they are, unless you're paying for a $200 aftermarket trigger. But you expect a nice smooth trigger on a 1911 or a 2011. Now I haven't shot this gun yet. We'll shoot it here in a minute. But one of the complaints, if you will, or some of the other reviews I've heard is these like to be broke in before they start running good. I don't know. Like I said, I borrowed this from a friend. It's relatively new. I don't think he shot it very much, maybe a few mags, so hopefully we don't have any issues. Another thing that was brought to my attention by another instructor is with the oversized magazines, people tend to slam them in really hard and they'll over travel, and the magazine will hit the ejector a little too hard if you're smacking it, and over time, and sometimes after a little bit, you'll end up bending either the extractor, which is less likely, or the thin sheet metal of the magazine itself. we're in a hot range, in case you were wondering. So just be aware of that. If you have one of these and you're running, real aggressively reloading and stuff, make sure you're checking that you're not wearing out that magazine lip. So that's about what I can tell you about them, scale. But let's load up and see how it shoots. All right, let's get loaded up, do a little shooting. This is my first shots on this gun. Looking at it, he didn't clean it before he lent it to me, and he probably didn't lube it, so getting a pretty fair assessment of how it's going to run. Hopefully well. Let's see. Well, at least 17 rounds in a row. Let's try the 20 round mag. Aha! So we got 3 malfunctions out of that 20 round mag. Now, full disclosure, I don't know how dirty this gun is. That's some old junky ammo I have, because that's how you roll when you don't have a sponsored channel. You shoot what you can find. So we'll take a break, load up our 2 magazines, and be right back. Okay, we're loaded back up with some ball ammo and some hollow point ammo. And I feel like I need to give this gun a fair shake. When I say I'm shooting old ammo, guys, I'm shooting old ammo. This is like federal stuff from, judging from the box, from the 80s, maybe the 90s. Nothing wrong with it, physically. It's not corroded or anything, but it is some old ammo that may be where some of the issues are. I want to make sure and run some hollow points through this, because this is designed as a duty gun, and if it won't run hollow points, it's not much of a duty gun. So I'm going to shoot 3, 4, 5 just to make sure it's running these, and then we're going to do something different. Tell you guys, those feel really, really weak. Like, I'm not sure if we want to shoot any more of those. I'm not surprised it didn't cycle that slide. So we're going to switch back over to these real quick here. So far, all the malfunctions that I've seen, the slide is just not quite going all the way back forward. It could be fixed with just a slightest little tap. Of course, it's still not okay. What I'm going to do now, I got the timer. I just want to see what kind of splits I can get. I'm not really aiming super hard, just how fast I can run this trigger. It should be faster as this 2011, 1911 type setup than like a Glock or something. On a really good day, my Glock splits are, probably between 0.15, 0.20. So we'll just shoot a few and see what our splits are. All right, let's see. 0.15, 0.16. Yeah, so without much effort on a first attempt, I've done at least as good as I can do with a Glock that I've been, working and training with. So splits are pretty good, 1.5. That's me with just a few rounds through this gun. Somebody warmed up could probably do a little better. Something else I want to talk about on this particular gun, now I'm not sure how they have different setups, but Springfield's new thing is the fiber optic front, or the tritium front, with this little U-shaped rear sight. And to be honest with you, I'm not used to it yet. It might be a good system, but I'm new to it, so accuracy suffered with me. And this all of a sudden I turned it off. It's just not, I'm not, the review's not about running a red dot, and this was actually a green dot. But so that's kind of what we have, guys. This gun might still be in that break-in period I've heard people talk about. Obviously, it's not shooting perfect, which as a duty gun, it needs to shoot perfect. Like I said, it did show up to me dirty. I didn't clean it. I didn't lube it. I didn't run brand new super hot ammo through it. I ran some old junk through it. And with all that, it did okay, but it didn't do perfect. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So that's what I have for you. I might do an additional review down the road to this if you guys like this one, if you want me to go out and spend money on real good ammo and see how it's doing. But for now, we'll call that done. That's catching on that super ledge. That really sharp edge is catching on the feed ramp. Okay, so that same junky ammo that wasn't running good in the Prodigy, I just got to make sure. I think I know what's going to happen. It's going to run fine in the Glock, but let's see. Alright, that was the ball ammo. Give me a second to load up the hollow points that it really, really hated, and we'll see what the Glock says. Alright, so I started this video comparing the Glock 17 to the Springfield Prodigy because in my mind, in the mind of a lot of other cops and shooters, this is the gold standard that you compare everything to. Now, I was trying to give the Prodigy a break, and I admitted that I was using old junky ammo and the hollow points had a big ledge on the front and it didn't like it, but as you can see, the Glock didn't care. So, is the Prodigy junk? I wouldn't say that, but what's it bringing to the table that the Glock 17 is not doing for half the price? Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please take a moment to hit the like, share, subscribe to the channel, let your buddies know. I really appreciate it. And as always guys, work, train, repeat. Stay safe.